The steps of transcription. First, the enzyme RNA polymerase and helicase attaches to the DNA in beings to tell it to unwind. 2. As the RNA polymerase moves down the DNA strand, it reads and builds the RNA strand corresponding to the base pairing of nitrogenous bases. 3. As the RNA strand continues to build, it will then stop when it reads a base pair that tells the RNA polymerase to terminate.
Translation: the process of taking mRNA after transcription and using the mRNA with ribosomes to synthesize proteins. Step 1. mRNA exits the nucleus through its pores into the endoplasmic rough reticulum. Step 2. Ribosomes bind with the mRNA and begin protein synthesis. Step 3. tRNAs, anticodons, bind with the mRNA base pairings, 3 at a time to code for a specific amino acid. Step 4. The amino acid is then combined by other amino acids to form a polypeptide chain, otherwise known as a protein.
SDS page presented by Zach, Luke, and Caden. SDS, or otherly known as sodium dodecyl sulfate polyacromide. SDS first needs to be heated to denature and stretch out the protein. To denature the proteins, the protein is lowered into the SDS to change all signs to negative. Then the denatured proteins is gathered and put into the SDS page where there is stacking gel and separating gel separating each layer. The separating gel then separates the proteins by size, where the bigger proteins are at the top and the smaller proteins are at the bottom.
Her death on August 22nd at 10 a.m. still left to be unsolved. The death of Ann Garcia, a 20-year-old college student that has died in the Gentry lab at the Life Science building. What is left unsolved is waiting to be solved. Ann Garcia had an accident in the lab, which she died from snake venom. And right before she was in the lab, she sustained a huge head injury, which could have left her unstable. Furthermore, evidence show that a rattlesnake was observed near her body. On the contrary, as described in the evidence in the top left corner on the fingerprints, none of the suspects matched Anna Garcia. To add furthermore insult, DNA ladder described in the blood pool on the floor and on the table only matched Anna Garcia. Judging based on the 3 evidence, it's safe to assume that despite the fact Dr. Opal hasn't presented her actual blood testing, it's safe to assume that none of the suspects attempted or had any correlation with her death. So what does this mean? There are likely 2 options. She collapsed on the floor, hit her head, and she died. Or, potentially, venom could have entered into the bloodstream, which also could have caused her death.
HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. HIPAA is a federal law that protects sensitive patient health information. Here are the 4 key rights under the HIPAA Act. Number 1, the right to access medical records. Number 2, the right to request corrections. Number 3, the right to know how your information is used and shared. Number 4, the right to request restrictions. For example, a healthcare provider or doctor may require a patient to sign a form authorizing the release of their medical records to another healthcare provider.